Call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Beichman, Biesinger,
Present.
Boss,
Present.
Ekis, Fry,
Present.
Gross,
Present.
Schroller,
Present.
Rom.
Present.
We have a quorum.
All right. Before you have the regular meeting minutes from December 27th. I would entertain a motion.
Mayor, I would like to move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the Marysville City Council, December 27th, 2017, as presented.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 6-0. And now, I just want to say a quick thank you for all of you who have served. It's been a blessing to serve with each of you. You each brought a unique gift to our council, and we appreciate the time and effort that you have devoted to this city and to our council and your friendship.
Thank you,
With
Mayor.
that being said, we have plaques down here. Oh, am I doing the right thing?
I think that I'll read this and then we'll...
She's going to read this first. I'm sorry, sir. Election certification.
Thank you. Dear Debbie, I, Sonia L. Stows, Marshall County Clerk Election Officer, do hereby certify the following persons were elected as City of Marysville at the November 6, 2017 general election. Mayor Carla Grund, Treasurer Kenneth Kiecafer, Ward 1 Council Bobby Pipia, Ward 2 Council Terry Hughes, Ward 3 Council Jason Barnes, Ward 4 Council Diane Schroller. Witness my hand and official seal this 13th day of November 2017.
All right, now we will do the plaques. There are plaques.
Is your sound system working at all?
Did we not hear us now?
It's working. That's better.
That's better?
I don't see a microphone on that podium. It's on there.
Plaques in there? Over here, sorry. Okay. So, Bill? This says presented to Bill Biesinger, Councilmember Ward 1, April 2015 to January 2018, in recognition of outstanding service to our community, the City of Marysville. Thank you, Bill. It's been go over all the years of service we had. And the black squirrels, we want you to remember that we were the ones that did the statues, remember? Thank you. And Ward 2, Ward 2, Keith is ill tonight, so he'll get his plaque later, but we appreciate his service as well. Ward 3 is Vicki Gross. I'm going to go ahead and read it to make it official, Vic.
Okay, thanks.
Presented to Vicki Gross, Councilmember Ward 3, April 2013 to January 2018, in recognition of outstanding service to the community of the City of Marysville.
Thank you,
Pleasure to
Mayor.
serve with you.
Pleasure to serve with you, my friend. Thank you.
And last, but certainly not least, is Denny, although he'd be running out of here right now if he could. Here's your black squirrel. We want to make sure you decorate your home. Oh, thank you. And Denny, we're really glad you're staying close here. So presented to Dennis Schroller, sorry. Councilmember Ward 4, April 2013 to January 2018, in recognition of outstanding service to the community, City of Marysville. Thank you, Denny. Appreciate it. All right. And we have one more official act, so don't leave. And that is to adjourn this meeting, this council. Again, it's been a pleasure to serve, so I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn this council meeting.
I second it.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? 6-0. And so we'll have coffee and cake, and then we'll reseat the new council and do oath of office then. All right? Oh, 10 minutes. What time we get? 7:05, so 7:15 we'll start back.
If the leader fan here, I might need some.
Yeah, you can't blame this cold on my
Are you serious about that or kidding?
You know, at first I didn't like it.
That's for
Tempting to
later.
do one over the other.
You said it.
So, Diane and Terry, come on up. Or who am I looking for?
Jason.
Jason and Bobby, come on up. Your name tags should be out.
Yep.
Did you switch mine just to make it a joke yet? Okay. Nope. Swap it out. You're over here now.
Yeah, I got room on top.
You have to get it stand up there.
Terry, you're right up here.
I think it may go up a little bit more.
That's fine.
Okay.
At least my chin's not on the desk.
Okay.
Here's to sign here later on.
Okay.
So first I will swear in the mayor, and then I will swear in the council members as a group. So if you'll just say duties of council member, and you can state your ward if you'd like, that would be fine. If you will raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and that I will faithfully perform
that I will faithfully perform
the duties of mayor
the duties of mayor
of the city of Marysville, Kansas.
of the city of Marysville, Kansas.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And new council members, if you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me.
Diane, you don't want to stand up? It's official.
Oh, I see the new one. Okay. That's the new- All
I
right.
do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
Support the Constitution of the United States of America
and Constitution of the State of
and
Kansas,
Constitution of the State of Kansas.
and that I will faithfully perform
And I will faithfully perform
the duties of council member
the duties of council member
of the city of Marysville, Kansas.
of the city of Marysville, Kansas.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations to all of you.
So thank you all for your willingness to serve. I truly appreciate it. As you well know, Brad was here shortly before, and he sent a letter of resignation on December 28th. His family will be moving to Pennsylvania for a new job, so he resigned because of that. He did add that I have enjoyed my time on council and thank everyone for their help and support. I wish you, the council, and the city of Marysville all the best going forward. So we thank you, Brad, for your service and all you and Sharon have done for our community. With that being said, once I found out he has a resignation, I asked Gina Graham if she would be willing to complete his remaining 2 years as council member for Ward 1. Gina was born and raised in Marysville, and she is the daughter, you want to stand up? She is the daughter of Tom and Kathy Lahushka. Tom works for Kansas Gas, and Kathy works at RX Drugstore. Gina graduated from MHS in 2001 and graduated from K-State in 2005 with a degree in interior design. She worked for architectural firms in California for several years and passed the exam to be a leadership, energy, environmental design accredited professional. Gina is married to Greg Graham. They have 2 children, Jackson 5 and Garrison 2.5. 2 years ago, they moved back to Marysville, purchasing Betty Bell's house on North 20th Street. They just finished remodeling the home and recently participated in the Light Up Marysville contest. Gina works for Attention Envelope and serves on, Greg works for Attention Envelope and serves on the Marysville Fire Department, and Gina is a stay-at-home mother. Gina has agreed to serve for the remaining 2 years that Brad's term and is anxious to learn more about local government. She is present tonight and will answer any questions you may have going forward. So she is willing to serve.
I move that Gina Graham be appointed to fill the vacancy in Ward 1.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any questions you have for Gina? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. So Gina, if you would like to come up, we will go ahead and do your oath of office, and you can jump right in. Gina Graham.
Terry should be able to see.
Oh, yeah, Terry, you're going to scoot over here. You're sitting by Craig.
Okay.
I do.
Yes. And Gina is going to sit between you and Bobby. We want you close up so you can hear.
Maybe I don't want to hear.
Okay, and that'll be getting you a name tag. And so now you'll be sworn in individually.
Gina, if you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me when you're ready. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and that I will faithfully perform
and that I will faithfully perform
the duties of council member
the duties of council member
of the City of Marysville, Kansas.
of the City of Marysville, Kansas.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Gina. Now we have a full circle again, or a full U. Have we done roll call? Okay, so we will do roll call now.
Boss,
Present?
Pipia. Here. Graham.
Here.
Hughes,
Here.
Fry,
Present.
Schroller,
Present.
Throm,
Present.
Barnes.
Present.
We have a quorum.
No, we did roll call after that vote. Do we need to re-vote?
If you want to, but I think it's okay.
You think it's
I
fine?
think it's okay.
Okay, so the next order of business, tried to jump Gina in there before we did a roll call. So the next item is President of Council. I would recommend Kevin. He is currently serving as President of Council. So if someone can make a motion for Kevin or someone else.
I move that Kevin Throm be president of the council.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, I should have explained, President of Council is someone who steps in and is mayor when I'm absent. He, even when he's serving in my place, he still will be able to vote on everything, so. Okay, is there any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. Thank you, Kevin, for, I should have asked you if you're willing to serve, didn't I?
That's fine.
Okay, we're doing a little things out of order. I apologize. So I'm glad your surgery went well.
Yep.
Glad you're back running again.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. There's one more thing that we have to do tonight, and that's the appointment of the Finance and Admin and Finance Committee for the appropriations ordinance that we're going to approve tonight. Because Darlene Boss was on it, but we have to have at least 2 people sign off on it, and the other 2 were Brad and Vicky. So Terry Hughes, you have agreed to serve on the Admin and
Yeah, I
Finance?
said it would, yeah.
And Diane Schroller, you have asked to serve on that committee?
That'd be fine.
And so at this time, I would appoint Darlene, Terry, and Diane to the Finance Committee. That would be my appointment. So you can make the motion to approve that appointment.
Move to approve the mayor's appointment to the finance committee of Darlene, Terry, and Diane.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Is there any discussion? You know, Terry and Darlene already knows, but it's, the bills are all available to look at as soon as I get done, the appropriations ordinance drafted. Sometimes Friday, sometimes Monday, you come in and you kind of do the more thorough review of the expenses, and we kind of rely on that, okay? And you're willing to serve? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0, all right. So those are the two things we have to do. All the other committees I will appoint next meeting. Did you hand out those list of committees to everyone?
Everybody should have that, and there's some highlights in green, and it's this, it looks like this, and I'll get you one.
And so,
have
actually,
it.
she can probably have mine.
Here's an extra one, actually.
You have an extra?
Yes.
Okay. So, please look over those committees. Do you have to serve? You don't have to serve. You get to serve. You have the opportunity to serve.
She'll probably need the back.
Okay. An opportunity to serve on at least 2 committees, or if you want to serve on more, you can serve on 3. And you also be a liaison to other committees, existing committees. So look at those, tell me what you're interested in serving on, and let me know in the next week, and then I will put that all together and make those appointments for next meeting. All right, I think that's all the information. So we will continue on through the agenda now. Public comments, if there's anyone in the audience that would like to share, you're welcome to come to the podium for 5 minutes, give your name, your address, your ward, and there's Tony, he's fast.
I won't take 5 minutes, but Tony Deaver, CES Group, and I live in Ward 1. I just want to thank the city and the council for the opportunities to work in 2017 and all upcoming opportunities. We certainly appreciate working in our hometown, so we have some meat and cheese tray there to help with your evening, and like I said, thank you again. Welcome to all the new people. If you have any questions, please feel free to stop in and see us. So.
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, thank you again.
I know
Thanks.
my first year on council, I stopped in a few times, so feel free to take him up on that. I don't think you billed us for that, did you, Tony?
Not right.
Okay, is there anyone else? All right, we will move ahead to business and discussion items. I would like to say one procedural issue going forward. It is common when someone makes a motion and a second, if you're going to vote no, it's desired that you explain why. It's not required, but it's desired, just so we kind of know where you're thinking, where you're coming from before the vote happens. And if you're uncomfortable with doing that, we can discuss that individually later. But it's just kind of a nice way for the public to know why you disagreed with something that we were voting upon. Okay, with that being said, we will discuss the business and discussion items. The first one has to do with Charlie Swineman. And Austin, are you going to take that one?
I'll take that one. This is just an update, and basically Charlie Swineman asked to be an operator, or listed as an operator, so he could attain a higher level in his wastewater certification. After some checking and some digging and questioning of KDHE, I found it is not in our best interest to pursue this, so I recommend not doing this, basically.
Did you communicate that to Charlie?
Yes.
And does he still want us to vote, or he's okay with?
He said okay, thanks.
He's okay?
Yeah.
So we'll just pass on that at this time?
Right.
No action needed since Charlie basically withdrew that request? Is that a fair statement?
I mean, pretty much, yeah.
Okay. All right, the next item is Dennis Mason on the Veterans Memorial.
Evening, and thank you for having me. Again, I'm representing the interests of our Veterans Memorial in town here. And the last time I was here, I fill in a little bit of what happened then was I requested that the city help us with the electric bill at the memorial. It's one of the rare instances that any municipality has the veterans there, and either the county or the city has always paid for the electric part of it for us. Otherwise, it would be eating into our donors' money that should be going towards maintenance and improvements and stuff we have to do for the thing. The problem was, last time I was here, the very same month, the power company had elected, that I wasn't aware of, to increase the rate, and we asked for $45 per month that our bill was for at that time. And it was actually in the $53 is what our next bill came out to be. And of course, I brought that bill down to Debbie and showed her what actually the bill, I think, are you making copies of all of them I'm bringing in? Okay, good. So that's great. You know that we're not taking some of your money and putting it someplace else. Lost my train of thought here. But anyway, I think that it would be warranted if the city would consider taking the bill as we present them, not to exceed a certain limit or something, whatever you've seen as the limit. And if they increase the rate, we can come back and make another request for that payment, I suppose. We don't foresee one bit, you know. So basically, I'm here tonight to ask for the amount to be presented to her. Instead of specifying an amount, just say that it will not exceed what the bill is that we present to her.
Okay, since this is new council, when you first came, and correct me whenever...
6 months ago.
Yeah, 6
It
months.
had an expiration date. It was a trial period.
Right, and we had a fairly large discussion about that there were some ongoing costs that you wanted to add a roof, potentially add a roof to the memorial.
Yes.
And we also, I think, talked about solar lighting potentially.
Other methods of lighting besides the big things.
Yeah, so I think that was the rationale. Do you believe that was rationale, or council, 3 members that were here? That it was to have him come back to us and kind of give us an update. So has anything been done in those other arenas?
The roof that we intended to put over the memorial, I had requested, and it hasn't actually went through the committee officially to say that it will be done. But we've first put out some bids or requests to give us a cost price. And I have contacted 4 contractors in this area and beyond that have not responded with any price. So we're sitting here, and now our freezing temperatures are occurring again, and there's probably going to be more damage done to the wall because we feel that it's rainfall, moisture, not necessarily humidity, that causes a lot of the damage that's done to the plaques. Now, for the rest of the people that haven't been brought up to date, we have approximately 3,000 plaques. I'm going to say at least 50% of them will have to now be re-inked, sealed, and then
reattached?
Well, not taken off. No, they can be etched or whatever. Well, and just re-inked only matters that they have a little process. They can take a paintbrush, but there's about 50% of them that need to be re-inked, and that's another issue. But once that's done, we can put a sealer over these plaques because they are porous. Water gets into them, and that's part of our problem. The roof, of course, would put much longevity into this process. But first, the fact that it's in that state of open to the elements, that's when the damage is occurring. And we have to allow it to dry before we can apply the sealer to keep the moisture out of it. So the waiting period went into the fall. We did all we could with the outside of the wall. It's all been completed now, sealed and caulked.
You sealed all the tops of all the walls?
The top of the outer wall only. not the inner walls. We didn't have time enough.
Okay,
I mean, there's a lot of labor involved in it at this point.
okay, so you did that to prevent further damage.
To do, stop the outside at least, and then, since we
But-
couldn't do the plaques, or in that area, we have to wait till we get a roof over it, or just wait till it dries out and then do it right quick. But even if we do that, there's gonna be a limited amount of time that it will endure with just the sealer on it. I can say that if a roof was on, one architect made the comment that if the sealer were left and just done that, hopefully when it's dry, that it might last up to maybe 4 years, then have to be done again some.
So you have to get the
I'm
roof
looking for
done.
longevity, you know.
You're trying to get the roof done with, at least within that 4-year period. Okay. So they're coming, the only contribution we have made to the Veterans Memorial is to give them the land and the 6 months of electricity at $45 a month. That has been our only contribution to this so far.
And what have the bills been running?
He said 53 a month.
Is that about right?
There's 53 something, 53.92, I think it is.
It does vary by the number of days in a month, which I didn't know before then either.
But we actually had agreed to pay just the 45. That was our motion. So so the city's only been reimbursing him the $45. And what he's coming forward and saying, can we make it be whatever the bill is, not to exceed the bill?
Yeah.
Yes.
They were supposed to bring back improvements, a recommendation for improvements on their
For lighting and
electricity and
stuff.
lighting and stuff like that. That was the condition of the 6 months, was they wanted us to pay the bill.
Didn't we find out that one light they,
That's,
They
that
were
was,
billing for-
that's for, I mean, I don't know.
didn't we find out something about one pole? Anyway,
We didn't, I don't think we found out anything,
so
but
you're
they
saying
were,
the motion stated that they were supposed to make,
they were supposed to be either making improvements or coming up with improvements on their electricity.
on the electricity
Okay,
side?
Yeah.
and that was
Alternate-
predicated on
yes.
putting a roof over it. Well, okay, we haven't done that. We haven't done any improvements. I did talk to the power company about it, and they didn't think that there would be any difference in cost, because if you go to the new LED systems, they increase the rate offsetting what it costs for the other one anyway. It's a higher price fixture, so you really don't gain anything. I didn't see any reason to do anything.
But there was the proposal about solar lighting.
Solar lighting was to go with the new roof and probably drop it down to maybe just having a meter there, and whatever the nominal cost would be for the electricity using the LED lights that we would put inside, because we'd have to add in interior lights to illuminate at night at least. Solar panels, we was thinking about, not solar panels, translucent panels on each section of the 8 to allow daylight. You could go in there and see fine, but at night and evenings or whatever. And then it'd be timers. I had ideas of putting solar cell that would, if it got dark, means that would allow for the different times of the year. It couldn't turn on until it got dark outside. Then they would turn on automatic and go off automatically at 10 o'clock at night. And
But
then
this is all with the roof being completed?
predicated on the roof, yes.
Okay. Well, we
Mayor,
could,
I would be more comfortable waiting until they've done something definite.
or we could make a motion for a certain period of time.
I wondered about going another 6 months.
Or 6 months, or a year, realistic, because they have to let it dry out
Sure.
and to get it done, and maybe just approve it for a year. I mean, a year
That'll-
type is, what, $600?
Right.
It's not an astronomical amount.
Would it be easier to put a do not exceed amount of $55 or something that we'd know would be over, rather than the
For the
amount
year,
of the
since we're
bill?
doing a set amount?
Right.
Are you okay with that, Dennis, if we make it about $55 a month?
If you did, you'd be paying a little bit extra some months.
Or
No,
the
we
bill,
was not to exceed.
Do
Oh,
not
not to
exceed.
exceed, okay, that,
And give you,
would that take care of it?
and give you a
Okay.
year to come back
Hey,
and
give me a thumbs
and
up
see
on
what you
that.
can, well, that'll encourage you to keep working on that roof.
Well, but I can't do anything
not
about it.
that-
I've tried to get those people over here to
Not that you're not making an effort. I don't want to make it like that.
doing everything we can.
So does anybody want to make a motion?
Madam Mayor, I would like to suggest that maybe we could get the bill from them and let's just pay the bill. And instead of him coming and asking for money all the time, or whatever, why don't the city pick up the tab for the lights on that thing now?
You mean indefinitely?
It's gonna be, as long as it's there, I don't think we should keep doing it if the thing disappears, but
Yeah, I think the reason was to encourage them to do some of the solar lighting options. I think that, but this is a new council. You guys can do whatever, you can make any motion you want.
well, that all could come into play later, but we might as well just pick up, get the bill and pay it instead of going through this.
You could make that motion, Terry? Is that a motion?
I wanted to suggest it to the council. I'm pretty new here. If nobody else feels that way, I don't want to suggest anything except voice an opinion.
Yeah. Well, so two opinions have been expressed for a year or indefinitely, and you could make a motion for anything you desire at this point.
I make a motion that we continue paying the bill that they bring to us with a do not exceed amount of $55 for the rest of the year of 2018 through
Okay.
December.
I second it.
Second. Okay, is there any discussion about that motion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0, okay. So, thank you for coming.
Okay, I want to thank you folks for doing that for us.
Absolutely. Thank you for your
And what
service.
you've already done. Thank you.
Thank you for your service. All right, so we have 1 year not to exceed 55. And then we'll see what Dennis comes up with for solar lighting by then. Okay, the next item has to do with Main Street Board of Directors. You guys are back up?
Good evening again. I'm Tony Deaver with Marysville Main Street this time. This is Michelle Lightsville, our director. I don't know if everybody saw the letter in the packet. Basically, our two biggest fundraisers of the year were very successful this year, and knowing that Austin was, and the city was looking at this downtown tree project, and that's something we would definitely support. We wanted to share some of our proceeds back with the city to help that project hopefully move forward, and we think it's good for our downtown and good for our members, and that's just something we're in favor of. So we would like to make a donation of $1,000 towards that project.
Okay, so at the point in time that we actually vote on something, then the donation would be made, right?
Correct.
So at this point, you're offering the donation?
Yep.
So we, as a consensus, as a council, we can have a consensus that we would gladly accept your donation, or we can go ahead and make a motion to accept it contingent on accepting bids for the project. Is that a better way to do it, Austin?
Sure.
So you can make a motion to accept the donation contingent on the bids being accepted for the project.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to accept the $1,000 from Marysville Main Street for the Marysville tree plan when it finally goes out for our final,
After the bid process?
after bid process.
And we'll let you know when that happens. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? I asked Austin to lay out the tree project for you guys. I would have to get one. Do you have an extra one? No extra one? Do I have an extra one? You can see this one.
And Mayor, we might point out to the new council members that we currently have been paying $15,000 a year to Main Street.
We help pay Michelle's salary on Main Street. And do you want to explain what your position is? Maybe, and what Main Street does? I mean, we have 5 new members, so.
Sure. So Marysville Main Street was started here in Marysville in 2000, and our, I guess, parent organization, for lack of a better word, is Kansas Main Street, and then the National Main Street Center. and we're really focused on the preservation and promotion of our downtown. Our district runs from like 4th Street down there all the way up to where 12th Street is, and includes Broadway and Center Street. And projects that we have kind of ongoing throughout the year, we run the Mother's Day Market and Big Blue River Days events in conjunction, obviously, with the car show committee. We hold lunch and learns, educational opportunities for our members. We hold promotional events to try to get people not just in the doors of our downtown retailers, but also our more service-based businesses, our accountants and banks and insurance agents, just to let them, be aware of the services that we have in our community so that they don't look outside of our community for those services.
So they support all our businesses, and another big part of it is their loan program.
Right. Our IWW, Incentives Without Walls program, is a 0% interest loan program that is run through the Department of Commerce for the state, and Kansas Main Street involved there as well. And we just offer loans to help maybe someone fix up their storefront, or someone to acquire a business, or maybe someone to implement some sort of technology like a new point of sale system or something like that. And they have a match with us.
So they support our downtown area, which obviously commercial property taxes are significantly more than personal property taxes, and our sales tax revenue. So we try to keep our businesses alive by supporting the Marysville Main Street with tax dollars.
We work closely with the Chamber of Commerce and with Partnership for Growth on events. I don't know if you all saw like our downtown vacant building tour this last spring, and we're hoping to do another one of those again. I know that's a big concern in our community. So we work together on for the more of the economic development side of things, to try to let people know that Marysville's an attractive place to live, to work, to try.
And the tree program, it was just kind of whose brainchild was it? Was it Austin's? Okay. And so we're trying to figure out which tree. We're at a place where we're trying to determine which. I saw you met with Kim Baumberger, and about what trees to plant. And this map was specifically showing, addressing the concerns of business owners to make sure they're okay with where the trees are being located. So the people, wherever the trees are going, the people have agreed to allow trees to be there. Now we're just trying to make sure that they're the proper trees. We've had that in the past where we haven't picked up some of the trees have been inappropriate for the space. And our goal is to contract out with someone to put the trees in and maintain them for at least a year, and then be on a contractual basis for the maintenance for a while. So it'd be on the city going forward to keep the trees alive and maintained. Is there anything else you want to add about Michelle did go door to door.
I worked with Austin with the tree plan, and I spoke with all of the downtown businesses and listened to their concerns and addressed that so that Austin could put the tree plan together. And I've spoken to not all of, but some of the businesses for the, I'll call it final plan or proposed final plan, and I'll have that all done by the next council meeting so that Austin can move forward with that as well.
So we're trying to keep everybody happy and putting trees where everyone's happy to have trees. Okay.
You talked to all of them?
The first time around, I did talk to the ones that could have possible trees in front of their buildings.
Okay.
Do you know something?
I would say,
you differ about something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll talk.
Was there any businesses that decided they didn't think it was necessary?
You mean the whole project in general?
Well, these folks indicated that they had talked to the business people. Was there anybody that said, hey, we'd rather not have a tree out?
Absolutely. And I kind of colored up a map, for lack of a better word, and if they didn't want a tree, it was red. If they were kind of lukewarm, it was yellow, and if they really wanted a tree, it was green. And I gave that to Austin so he was able to make those decisions.
That's my concern was if somebody really didn't want them, but yet we're gonna pay to put them in these other places.
No, that's our understanding.
The way the map was made was designed around the people who did not want trees in front of their business. So if they said, for instance, in front of the law office on Main Street, they said absolutely not. Even though there's an open space, the maps, there's no tree there. So there's an open space in front of McNish's office. They said, no, we're not putting the tree there. So that's how the map was designed.
Well, what kind of makes me feel funny is that person the people that said they didn't want trees, they're really through the big tax program of paying property taxes. They're actually paying for the trees that are next door because they didn't want them in front of their place.
Actually, I would recommend that sales tax paid for this. It makes the most sense. So people paying for the products downtown are actually paying for the trees.
All right.
Do we have a motion? And a second. Is there any further discussion? Or any questions for Michelle and Tony? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. Thank you very much. Thank you for your donation. Thank you for your work in our downtown area. All right. I am not aware of any notices or hearings, but Darlene looks like she's getting ready to say something. Darlene.
Mayor, this coming Thursday, which will be January the 11th, the Planning Commission will meet at 7 o'clock here in City Hall. And two of the items on the agenda are a revised site plan for Sunflower UP Federal Credit Union. It's just amendment going from 3 lanes to 2 lanes going into their drive-up.
Oh, the drive-through?
And then Ellen Barber is planning to present a sketch plan for Marshall County Partnership for Growth for a future business park, but this land is not in the city.
Not currently in the city. So,
those are the 2 items on the agenda.
So that's just for future planning? Or what?
She wants to talk with the Planning Commission.
Is that how she was advised to go by? Is that what David advised her to do at this time?
I think she just one day wanted to bounce the ideas that she had, making sure she was doing the right thing with the Planning Commission. So,
Okay.
and I don't think David would turn that away. So she wants to make sure she's doing the right thing.
Do we know what property she's talking about? Is it off 11th Terrace?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for letting us know. So any of you are welcome to attend the Planning Commission. It goes out on an email, right? When the Planning Commission, you don't email that out? Why don't you do that, so in case any of the new members want to go,
Okay.
they're at least notified.
Okay.
And it's normally the second Thursday of the month,
So,
What time?
7 o'clock.
so just so you can see what they do, that the Planning Commission is another committee that people are appointed onto. It's a large responsibility. Okay, thank you. The next item is a consent agenda. Now, these items we usually approve all at once. And the consent agenda this time, each time it changes. This time it has the city clerk's report, the municipal judge's report, the revenue and expense report, the ambulance contract for 2018, a convention and tourism request, a consumption request for MCAC for Brad and Sharon Ekus. And FYI, the council is definitely invited. Governing body is invited, so you can put that on their calendar on the 17th to stop by there. And the Clink Overlay Project Amendment Number 1. So if you have, since there's so many on this and These are all new. You're welcome to discuss them before we make the motion if need be. Did you have any questions? I had a question, and Kevin, you've been on the council the longest. I was reading through this proposed contract with the Marysville Ambulance Service, and I thought there was some, and Todd, you might remember this too, or Darlene, that I thought there was some comment in there that they were supposed to keep an ambulance in the city of Marysville at all times. I guess it was never in the contract, it was just
An assumption, I think.
It was an
Word mouth.
assumption.
Yeah, you're right. I remember that being discussed.
I mean, Kevin, did you ever remember seeing it in the contract?
I don't ever remember seeing it in the contract either, but I'm like Todd.
Remember
I thought
talking about it?
Remember talking about it. They said they would never leave Marysville without ambulance coverage.
Okay. I guess since we've never ever had a problem with that, I guess there's no reason to revise it right now unless you guys feel that's needed at this time. But according to Austin, this is the same contract except for the only change has been in the dollar amount, which is 2A. And so it went from what, 141 last year, I think?
144,306.
144 last year to 147. And, you know, one of the selling points, this is obviously a substantial contract on the city, of the city. And one of the reasons that we pay this large amount is to keep an ambulance in the city. But we've never had a problem, and if it hasn't never been actually written in the contract, I guess we can go ahead and approve it as it is. I just wanted to bring that up.
Was there a reason why you're concerned? Did something happen?
No, just because I remember, I mean, it's been a discussion point that, you know, it's well worth it. I remember hearing this when I was first on council. It was well worth it because we always have an ambulance in the city. Haven't you heard that comment, Darlene, too? So. But as long as you guys are okay with that, the only other thing I wanted to discuss briefly, and I sent an email to Craig about this, and it's on page 22, is the amendment to the consultant agreement. And I guess when I read this is from BG Consultants for the Clink project, and it says they want to do an amendment of $3,500, increase the amount we pay for $3,500, which isn't a major amount based on the project, which was $558,000. But I guess my concern was that their justification was under 2A when it says they required more full-time construction engineering services due to subcontractor inefficiencies and prolonged schedule of total project. And they hire the subcontractors. We don't hire the subcontractors, so if they're inefficient, it's not really caused on us. And the other thing is the prolonged schedule of total project. Remember, we were concerned about the weather, and we kept saying, do you really want to start this project? And they said, oh, we can get it done. And I believe the weather was the reason why the project lasted longer. The Clink project I'm talking about, I should clarify, is from 4th Street to 17th Street. The overlay we just did. Clink is just an acronym for what a KDOT project. And so it's almost complete. And this is the only amendment they've had, but the whole principle of it, I have a little problem with. How did you guys feel about that?
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I do too.
I think
It's their problem. if they
Yeah,
hired them and
it's their problem.
Yeah.
Here's why the engineer is there for us.
Yes, I understand that.
And it's, I guess, you could ask Hall Brothers to pay the $3,500, but they're there to protect our interests. It's one of the subcontractors that was not being very friendly in the whole process.
And there again, that part's not our fault.
Right. So, I mean, it's, I don't know, I guess it's up to you guys, but we're paying the engineer to protect us.
Right.
And $3,500, like she said, is a small amount, and they're not charging us. They're not charging us for some of the extra paperwork they've been having to do. In fact, Nathaniel's doing it at night at home. So this is not the complete charge that we could be seeing. But, I mean, that's my only thought, is the engineer's there for us. They had to be out longer because of the subcontractor. And you guys can, I guess, take that as you will.
Craig, your opinion on this?
Well, my response to the mayor's initial request earlier today, I didn't have the original contract to look at it. I guess I'm assuming it allows, any contract would allow for an amendment if the parties consent to it. So I guess that's the decision. I'm not aware of anything that would preclude the city from not signing this or not maybe negotiating the terms of this amendment per the original contract. There's maybe more context to this amendment than what's set forth in the amendment.
Did Teeman ever complete his part of it down here yet on 5th Street?
They had some punch list things that they were waiting on whether to get completed. I haven't gone down to 5th Street just
Or 4th Street, excuse me.
4th
Street, sorry.
and double checked on it because I know they were doing the main parts, all the manholes, and then I'm gonna go back and do the extra things that I was asking them to do because that chunk of cement fell off down at 4th Street. And then there was a storm sewer that was falling apart that I needed them to fix, but...
It was this stuff that they had done or something we added?
The one section on the highway was a bad section of curb they took out.
That too. That was something I was gonna go over on the walkthrough, because that was one of the trucks ran over a section of curb.
They damaged it.
And they damaged it.
Yeah. I haven't checked on that either. I had a discussion with the owner
the other day when I was down there, so.
So no, I was planning on going over that with the walkthrough, and I was waiting for them to get their punch list taken care of so we could actually talk about things. But
well, you know as well as I do, if we refuse it, they're going to add this on something else and bring it back. They'll put it on a punch list or something and say that.
If we agree to this though, but you haven't signed off on everything for it being completed yet.
not on their on the contract or anything like that. No.
Well, it's just hard for me when I read that it says subcontractor inefficiencies, which we can't control.
Yeah, that's not our.
And the schedule of the project again was weather related. And we started out with that in the first. So if we wouldn't pay this, wouldn't they have to go to Hall Brothers to pay for it?
No, because Hall Brothers has no tie to them, and Hall Brothers does.
So who would?
They just write it off.
So
they just write it off.
Teemans.
They could. There's no, since they're contracted with the city. They're not contracted with Hall Brothers, not contracted with Teemans or anything like that. So it's basically they're trying to, we're their only recourse, yeah.
So just to be fair, you're saying there were amounts up and above this that they are not billing us for.
Right.
And you're assured of that?
Yes, yes.
So you feel like this represents a medium ground?
This is their, he told me this is the pay that they're, for the people on the ground. That's all this is. That's not the paperwork behind it or anything like that. There could be a recourse because we have not closed out the project. We could ask for, because we haven't paid for it all either, could ask for a reduction in that as well. So, that is a recourse, but I wouldn't say not pay this.
I was going to suggest we do some negotiation, since obviously they'll get it one way or the other, but I think if we're straightforward with them and give them the reasons why we're doing this, and I think it won't be as bitter pill to swallow for them. And they could say, okay, we'll take off $1,500. You're correct. We did this, we need to finish up, we had some problems, just try to find a middle ground, because are these people gonna, this will be the end, we'll have to deal with these people?
Right.
That's it?
Yeah, with the contractors, yeah, that'll, once this project is over, the subcontractor will be done with them. Yeah.
Okay, well.
But not BG.
Not BG. We got future dealings with BG.
Okay.
Well, in that case, I move that we take number 7, the K-Link overlay project, amendment 1, remove it from the consent agenda.
And how do you want Austin to proceed with that? To try to
negotiate
renegotiate?
with
Or
them.
at least,
Were you saying negotiate with BG or negotiate with Hall Brothers?
With the people who are billing us on for the extra $3,500.
which would be BG.
BG.
I mean,
Or at least
Have them come
come
up and
back
visit
and
with
show
us.
us, yeah, well, that's true. But show us this is the amount we're not billing you for, that we're willing to take it, so we understand that this is a compromised number.
Okay.
Is that fair enough?
I think that's fair.
Okay,
They
so
did get this job on a bid, didn't they? These engineers did?
Yes.
Yeah.
But their first bid wasn't enough, is that it?
It was, they had negotiated a certain amount of time.
Okay.
I guess the engineers were not the one in control of the timing of it, right? It was really the contractor.
Right.
So it's really an issue between the contractor and them, right? Okay, so we'll pull number 7 and probably discuss it maybe next time, Austin. So the consent agenda now is,
There's no second.
consent agenda will be 1 through 6. We haven't made a motion yet, have we?
Kevin made a motion
For 1 through 6?
to pull.
Number 7.
Pull number 7. So you're making them one to approve 1 through 6?
I can do that. I move to approve the consent agenda, items 1 through 6.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. All right. The next item is the appropriations ordinance. Now, our new finance committee, Darlene, did you have a chance to go through them?
Yes.
The bills? And Terry and Diane, are you comfortable after whatever review you've done on the expenses for, that we're approving, to go ahead and have them approved tonight?
Yeah.
Did you look at the expenses, the bills?
I didn't look at the bills, no.
Do you want to take a quick recess for you to look at them? Are you comfortable after looking at the agenda packet?
I'm comfortable with it.
Okay.
I just had one question. What's this library treasures, City of Marysville, the overage tax whatever that is, 2017?
Do you want to explain it?
Okay. Every year, we all have a budget. The city has a budget, the library has a budget. Well, it's really all the city's budget. We budget for a certain amount of taxes, and it's in this box. If we get anything outside of this box, we cannot distribute it. So that payment is the overage that we got last year, that we're distributing this year, within this budget year.
The libraries are run through. Anything that comes into us, we write it out to the library.
Yeah. Technically, the library is a city entity, but they are, like everywhere else, they're treated as an independent until it comes to the budget, pretty much.
So we collect the tax monies and we give it to them. And this is what they did not request from 2017.
It's,
Right,
yeah,
right?
it's, yeah, pretty much.
Money's collected in excess of their requested monies.
Yep.
Okay, so we gave them this money because they didn't request it all.
Yeah, but it's their allocated money out of the taxes received.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
No
kind of
other-
complicated with the library.
Yeah. Otherwise, I didn't really see anything that I had any questions about, so.
Okay, so I would entertain a motion to approve the appropriations ordinance.
I move that the appropriations ordinance number 3666 in the amount of $85,461.45 be approved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Boss?
Yes.
Pipia?
Yes.
Graham?
Yes.
Graham? Hughes?
Yes.
Fry?
Yes.
Schroller?
Yes.
Throm?
Yes.
Barnes?
Yes.
8-0.
8-0, all right. Now we're to the staff reports, the city administrator.
All right, just a few options or a few items here. The first item is I would like to move Lily Lynch from part-time to full-time in the water sewer department. She's been working in the water wastewater department for almost a year and has proved to be a competent worker. This change in status would not change her level of pay nor her job title of general laborer. We would eventually want to move her up as she makes those qualifications. Right now, she doesn't meet the qualifications of maintenance worker 1. But basically, she's been a good worker, and I want to move her to full-time.
So just to give you guys an update, she was a seasonal worker, and she just got updated to part-time.
Yeah.
We just approved part-time last month.
Right.
Okay. And what are the qualifications for a maintenance worker? What do you have to do?
At least a CDL. I think there's some training requirements that you meet, and I have to look at it again, but it might have something to do with, I think the major one is CDL.
So is the normal protocol to hire first as a general laborer and then let them work on that as they're working in the department?
I mean, that's an option. That's an option provided to us. Ideally, if we're hiring straight out for and we're looking for a maintenance worker 1, we'd love to have somebody fully qualified. But the general labor position is there just in cases where we can't find those that meet the requirements.
So we have done it this way before in this department.
Yeah.
And I guess my question is, okay, so water sewer, it's not a heavy time. Is it necessary to go to full-time right now, or can you wait till spring?
To say it's not a heavy time, we've had multiple water leaks being fixed, and
You think they're busy?
they're busy. They're busy.
Because of the frozen pipes and stuff?
Freezing, thawing, I mean, that, we've had a couple water leaks just in a few days.
Okay. What? Have you noticed that, Jason?
Yeah.
Are they city pipes or the residential pipes?
Residential.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. And just from a full disclosure standpoint, Lily Lynch will report to Kent Bargman, who's the supervisor of water sewer department, and she is his ex-stepdaughter. So I just think, you just need to know that.
Makes no difference.
Well, I just think we need to do a full disclosure kind of thing. No one would know that based on the name, so I just thought I should let you guys know that. So how do you feel about that?
Is there a hiring freeze now too? No?
Okay, so the previous council, we're a new council, we get to decide what we want. The prior council, there was a hiring freeze in effect. We initially made the motion for a certain time frame to be reevaluated, and that reevaluation did not happen. Or really, the council was trying to confirm whether we needed to hire additional people. So because that further analysis wasn't done, the hiring freeze probably is still in effect. But again, you guys are a new council, so you guys get to decide.
Did you lose somebody? Did somebody quit or somebody retire?
It was, we lost a, huh?
We have 2 positions that are open.
Okay.
Well, when we have the hiring freeze though,
I understand that, Mayor. You just asked if we lost somebody, and we did several years ago, actually.
But we had a seasonal and a part-timer. Last year, we lost the part-timer, retained Lily as a part-time individual. In the past, the water, wastewater has been up to 7 employees. Right now, they're at 5. Well, 5 full-time.
Okay. Did you mean 7 full-time, or was that?
7 full-time. There used to be, at one point.
But again, we're trying to evaluate all our positions and have, before, besides just the salary, you have to add all the benefits of the cost of an employee. And that's one of the reasons we're trying to do these staff evaluations. There has never been staff evaluations done, and to decide what we really need in each department. And so the staff evaluation should help with that. But we haven't really done an analysis either, comparing or really looking at our staffing. I think that's something that we've requested done that hasn't been done in the past. So at this time, do you want, I don't hear any motions, do you want to just leave her as a part-time at this time till some analysis can be done? Or do you want to make a motion to change her from part-time to full-time?
I would be comfortable with that until you can get some more information on it.
Just proof of the history, that would be easy enough to bring to them for the next.
Proof of the history. I gave you proof of it.
I know, but they don't have it.
Is she is she considering leaving? Which I assume she wants full-time employment.
She just wants full-time employment.
Well, we can wait till next meeting. What you're requesting is just to kind of see the history of the employees in the wastewater department, water and sewer?
Well, I'd like to see what Austin gave you, is what I would like to see. Okay, I'm not saying yes, no, or whatever, obviously there was 7 at one time. Now we're down to 5. How are we functioning at 5? Or do we need an extra body? Sometimes you just need an extra body. There's a lot more going on water-wise here. We have new houses, we have old plumbing, we have a lot of things going on. Maybe we need to step up to 1. Maybe we can make it otherwise. What I need to see is what you handed out. Okay?
Okay.
Does that sound fair?
You bring it next meeting?
That's fine.
We'll talk about it next meeting.
Okay.
You include something in the packet.
Okay.
All right.
Second item is a street sweeper purchase. Bring this large purchase to you first of the year because it's a 90-day wait period, and we are, for all intents and purposes, we are down a street sweeper. But we have budgeted for the purchase of this.
Is ours not working?
It has a major oil leak. That's we.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Follow it.
The first couple times I thought it was my truck. And then,
But we're not running the street sweeper right now.
No.
Okay.
No.
Street sweeper.
Street oiler, you mean?
Street oiler.
Yeah.
Hey, Chip and
We have
Seal.
2 of them. Yeah. Okay. Budgeted for this, over the past year, our street crew has been testing different street sweepers in preparation for the purchase of a new one. They tested a Ravo, which is a vacuum-only street sweeper, the Pelican, a mechanical-only street sweeper, and the Dulevo, combination mechanical meaning it's got the brooms, and then inside it's got a conveyor belt that the brooms push the dirt up onto. And then the vacuum, which assists that vacuum, or the mechanical portion. We also have experience running a Johnston and Global mechanical street sweeper, so that we had that experience, and they haven't changed as of yet. But up until the last one we tested was the Dulevo, and up until we tested that one, the Johnston and Global was the front runner. They knew it. They knew they know how to fix it. It runs well when it's working, and so on and so forth. But when we got this Dulevo in, it was a light switch in our street guys, and they all came to a consensus that this machine was their front runner. So I bring that recommendation from them to you to make this. And I'm proposing we purchase this Dulevo from Truck Component Services for the price of $203,914. Once ordered, it'll take 90 days to do this. And the reason, I guess, I'm not showing you all these prices for all the different machines. I know somewhat of what each one of them costs, and they all cost about probably 10 to 20,000 more sometimes than what I'm presenting here. But bring all those prices to go, okay, the Ravo costs $216,000, and that's what I budgeted for. And to put it up against the Dulevo, which is a different machine that has a different function than the Ravo, it's not really an apples to apples comparison. So we were doing it on a merit-based system. So the price, not irrelevant, but
is.
Are they taking ours as a trade-in then?
I was going to ask about that.
They said they would take it as a trade-in. That is not factored into the price.
So this is my thing about that is, if we say we're going to buy it, and then we say, oh, what are you going to give us for our trade-in? Now, you're the car dealer. You tell me, Todd, are they going to give me a good price?
First thing you do is you get a hard price on your trade-in, and then you negotiate.
I mean, I can ask that question.
Yeah, so I think we need to have a hard price on our trade-in before we approve.
Right, and it might be one of those, I don't know is there a market for this? The last one we sold to, the city of Washington?
That's still using it.
Yeah, still using it. Now this one has a mechanical issue and a checkered history.
Yeah, we have to repair this one before we do something.
Do they know?
Well, they would buy it as is.
It has an oil leak.
Well, they could.
It looks like you about got to have one person dumping oil in his car. It's bad enough.
But I mean, we sell it as is.
Right, I agree. I want to know what that number, I wondered about that too.
Yeah, so I think you have to come in and you negotiate the whole thing, and then we offer to buy it, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
It can, can we do a pending offer price for our old sweeper?
Well, no.
I don't know if they might offer us $14. I have no idea what they'll offer.
Yeah, if we approve it contingent, they might find out we approved it contingent, and we say it's worth more than $14. Yeah. So you want to bring it back to council, get a trade-in amount?
Shouldn't put us too far off on the 90. I mean, I assume the 90 days isn't stretching. It's just a rolling 90 days.
That was,
We got along for a long time without the other one.
Would this company do maintenance on the machine?
If necessary, I mean, we'd probably be doing all the normal stuff, but if they have the ability, I mean, other people in the state of Kansas, other municipalities in the state of Kansas have this street sweeper.
Okay.
And they have good things to say about it.
And where is Stratford, Missouri located?
Down by Springfield.
It's just, how parts and everything readily available. I don't want us to have to send a truck.
The engine in it is, I can't remember for the life of me whether.
Is it?
It's an international engine. It's an engine that you can get parts for anywhere.
Okay.
So it's easy for us to maintain ourselves as well as have somebody else maintain it. So it's and we checked on that. We called for reference. City of McPherson has this exact one, and they said they have relatively few issues with it, and the issues they've had with it resolved like that.
How long have they had it?
4 years, I think.
4 years.
Yeah.
So that's encouraging. The salesman specifically said that this should last 10 years.
That's what they all say.
Do you say that in writing?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that if we do the proper maintenance on it, that's what they say they should last. So why should we not hold their feet to the fire and say, you said if
warranty?
Yeah.
There's not a 10-year warranty on it, though.
Yeah.
There's a 1 year.
Just 1 year, I believe.
1 year?
We keep good maintenance logs on all of our equipment.
We maintain
so that
it.
should help.
Our guys should be trained on the maintenance of the specific machine.
Here's what the salesmen say. It can last for 10 years, but the maintenance naturally starts going up at 5. That's
He
what
didn't say that to me.
but
When I talked to him-
that's what each one of them say.
And he said should last 10 years. I listened specifically what he had to say.
So they don't have,
And you gotta remember, other communities don't use their street sweepers like we do either. I mean, I've been to communities that use a box scraper on the front of their skid loader to pick up their
Leaves.
chip and seal.
Yeah.
Or we're using our street sweeper to pick it up, which puts a lot of rock and stuff through the system. And
Well, this next one should help us.
Oh, it's got the back on it. It's got the brush.
No, I meant the next item. that
Oh,
we're
yeah,
gonna do.
yeah.
So you'll come back next week with, hopefully with a trade-in value?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Moving along, now we're on the lightweight rock here. Now, and this is the item I'm talking about.
I'm sure there's some people have about
Well,
that.
there's some rock.
Lighter rock.
Lighter rock.
Yeah, so they're gonna be glad not to have the dust.
Past couple years, we've been trying to bring our rock purchase for street sealing up earlier, so we avoid any sort of price hike in the busy season. So that's what I'm doing here. We've estimated for next year's sealing route, an additional 520 cubic yards of what's called haydite, which is a man-made rock, which we're trying to do to reduce the dust that produced by the normal rock that we get. This rock is used by Seneca, state of Kansas, state of Nebraska for chip and seal, and like I said, main reason is to produce less dust. The rock costs $36 per cubic yard, and $13 per cubic yard delivery charge. So at $49 per cubic yard and 520 cubic yards, it costs $25,480 for the amount that we are requesting.
Now, you made me a little nervous in one of your comments. For additional rock.
Yes.
We don't want additional rock. We want
The
new
rock that we have right now is useless for anything else.
How much do we have?
A shoot and a half, I think.
I don't know about you, but I'm not sure I want to use that rock on chip and seal this summer.
I think we should use it in alleys and.
It'll wash away. It's easy to wash away. It's not the normal stuff you put in an alley.
it doesn't lock with itself. It just, yeah.
No, in fact, we're kind of hesitant because it was requested at Lakeview, and Gary's hesitant to put it down because the second that rain comes, which is the
it's gonna
problem,
end up in
it's
the-
going to end up in wherever we're sending the water.
The lake.
The lake, yeah.
Well, irrespective of that, whatever we have, I don't want to be responsible. I'm just making this be known that I do not want to use that rock. If you guys decide to go ahead and use that rock in your neighborhood and hear what we heard last year, that's your choice.
If we have a functioning street sweeper,
We'll have a
that should
functioning
help.
street sweeper.
I know, but you,
Other than
okay.
the brick streets. I'm just kidding.
I know.
But
And it
I don't
won't
know what else
affect
we'll do
my
with
street,
it.
but I'm just saying, we had such a horrible experience last year.
Can we sell it to somebody else?
No,
I'm not even joking.
we can't.
Used car
Some other
salesman.
town?
We
Hey.
can't. We can't sell.
Can we dump it for any purpose at all?
Can we put it, like, I've got an alley, and it's a flat alley.
I think even a little bit of water, wherever water runs in your alley, it's gonna take it with it.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't really go doesn't go anywhere, really. But I'm one of probably the few ones. Not that I want the trouble. I don't want to hear the husband when he's scraping it out of the yard.
The road going out to like the sewer plant. Can we use it on that or out to the gun range or anything like
We've already
that?
purchased rock for that.
I mean, I just trying to
Can
come
we
up
just
with ways
dump
that.
it?
What about underneath the overpass bridge where people drive down to fish and it's a bunch of muddy ruts? I mean,
Hey, there you go.
if it goes
Dump
into
it
the
in
river,
there.
so what? But that's really.
That, on top of that, the cost of the rock, compared to what you would normally put down is 5 times the amount. So throwing money down the drain.
Can you
So-
mix?
Madam Mayor,
Yes?
I'm curious, you're talking about sealing this asphalt with this new stuff.
Uh-huh.
To go to a gravel street down on the east end of Jayhawk Road, what did they put on that road? Because that's really stayed good for a year.
That was that rock.
That was that chip and seal. If that's something you don't want to use on streets where you're trying to seal pavement, why don't you take care of Jayhawk Road with it?
Chip seal the gravel road.
Yes, it worked. If you go down and look
That's not a
at
bad idea.
it. They sealed that down there, the other side of Marge Mare, and that's really a pretty good gravel road. And
You
if
can
this is
chip
waste
seal-
rock, not gonna cost anybody
Yeah,
anything.
about-
So you chip and
about
seal
100
a
feet of it there.
gravel road with the bad rock.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not a bad thought.
In the long run, will it cause any more problems? I mean, there it's worked well. But I don't
You
want
mean
us
the
to.
long term
Yeah, I
of
don't want us
chip
to
and
now.
seal that?
Then in 5 years, we're chip and sealing with the haydite. You know.
Well, and then we're gonna get in the same problem we were back out.
11th Road, 12th Road, Keystone Road.
Yeah. Well, you guys put chip and seal on it to build it up. Well, no, we put it on it to help cut the dust down. But then they thought it was a street and, then it kept, now we're into the process of maintaining that now.
Well, I would just like to see us use this haydite on chip and seal routes this year. Actually, it would give us a good, we can always keep the rock for another year if we don't use it.
Awesome. You said we can't sell it?
No, we're not allowed to compete with private business.
What? Well, we can't surplus it?
I got another
Other towns are
question
still
now.
using it.
Has there anybody ever done any research about, because I know Blue Rapids did it and it worked for them, just using river sand to chip and seal with?
It won't work because
It worked for them.
it's because that sand, when you get a motorcycle on it, it doesn't exactly work. It creates
the top surface is slick.
it creates a problem.
It does.
Yes.
Because it sure ends the dust.
Well, I'm fine with purchasing this haydite for tonight. I just would, you're saying this isn't enough to do all the chip and seal?
Yeah, this is the rest of the chip and seal.
You say the rest, you're making me nervous again, the rest of
This is using what we have plus this.
And then this, yes, for the 3 sheets that we have next year.
Well, you were going to suggest mixing it.
Can it be mixed? So this would cut down half of the dust? I live on 20th Street, so it was a mess.
So what are you going to vote?
Oh my God. It looked like snow.
I'm not sure if we can mix it. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, I'm okay with purchasing this and trying to find an alternative use for the chips that we have. But you're saying this isn't sufficient.
It's half the route.
It's half?
Yeah.
So if we had to buy 51,000, last year we spent 41,000 on chips. So that would increase what we buy this year to 51,000. But for $10,000, I think our residents would say that's not a bad price.
After last year.
So you want to increase, if we tell you that we only want you to use haydite, do you want to double that?
That would cover it.
And then you'll find an alternate use for the rock?
Try my best.
Is that what you guys want?
Sounds good to me.
So you want to go,
He's not gonna drive a giant pile in the way of anything.
We're gonna move. We were planning on moving that pile anyways because we want to put the haydite where where the old one is.
And if we buy it now, is the price better than, say, more into spring and summer?
That was the idea. Because normally on the regular rock, the further you get down, the less rock there is available because everybody wants to use it for chip and seal.
will we get a better price if we double the amount?
No.
Oh.
It's all, that's the catch. Not the catch, but it's just like with rock itself, you get the same price for the ton because they're producing it anyways. This we think is going to have a more stable price than regular rock because they have they're making it. They control the production of the rock, whereas everybody else is relying on the earth to produce it.
Are you have storage for $51,000 worth of this?
Yes. We like I said, we're going to move that, and it should be about well, because it's only 3 chutes instead of 5. So we
You say it's lighter weight material, is it?
Yes.
So make less density as well? The same density?
It's the same. It should be the same, about the same size.
I move that we buy 1,040 cubic yards of haydite from Buildex Incorporated for the cost of $50,960 to come out of street and highway.
And I can tell you the balance in there right now is $57,735.
When do we get, so when do we get the first quarterly payment? Not sure. Do you have the general ledger on there? So we could look?
No, I don't.
Do you have it, general ledger on yours?
Is it quarterly or? I think it's quarterly.
I know, I'm just saying when the quarterly comes.
We're not, I don't think we're spending anything else. We're fine.
You're okay?
I think we're fine.
Okay, because I know the fuel tax comes out quarterly, I just don't know when it comes. Okay, did someone second that?
Second.
Okay, we've had a little bit of discussion. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. You got double what you wanted there, Austin. It's a win. It's a win for our residents.
That's
Amen.
right. Don't have to listen to the rest.
All right. Attached are the financials from December. A notable detail includes the fact that the general fund ended at $438,965, which was $46,522 higher than what was budgeted for carryover and for 2018, and $13,965 above what council's goal was for me of $425,000.
Congratulations.
Good job.
Yeah, good job.
And just for a general rule, for the general fund, that carryover balance is 21% of expenses. That amount fluctuates. There's no standard for any city. That's really up to us to decide what we're comfortable with for that carryover each year. And the big increase is in January. As you can see from this detail, January and June. January we receive 57% normally of our ad valorem dollars, so that's the big money in. So you always want to have a carryover in every fund, but the general fund is the one that we get a big push in January. But each city gets to decide what carryover is sufficient. And when we set goals for Austin in his review, we ask him to carry over at a certain amount, and he obviously achieved that. So thank you. So we'll have to be making those decisions when we start preparing the 2019 budget, so you can start thinking about carryovers and how we budget. Go ahead.
Water revenue ended with a balance of $861,351, down $72,179 from 2016.
Because of our-
beginning of the year.
That's water, right?
Yeah, that's water.
Because of our water line.
We did a water line of $170,000.
Yeah.
So that contributed, of course. And that was a four block long project, so that is really beneficial.
So when you look at our water balance is high, water revenue fund, so we decided last year and going forward for 2018 as well, to utilize that money on a major infrastructure improvements. So we started on North Street, by your house.
I've got something to say about that company. They're a wonderful company, because my husband, if they come in the yard and they don't put it back the way he wants it, I get to hear a lot besides everybody else. And they came back, and obviously it was dry and we didn't water it. I mean, they leveled it, they seeded it. These people are really nice too.
I know.
Really, really
Have you
nice.
heard any complaints about that water? And considering they were digging on a lot of people's property, that is huge.
There was one, but it was.
And they said
beginning of
thank
the
you.
project.
They wrote a letter of thank you for the business. I was like,
There you go.
wow.
Yeah.
Of course, Tony said thank you for our business today too.
And to keep all this in context, other than the general, I mean, we have, this is the water fund. We have $861,000 in it. We also have
a reserve, a water utility reserve, which has another, I have to,
673.
like 600, yeah, over $600,000 in there. So, so take that into context. The reserves are there for help if need be. Sewer revenue ended with a balance of $451,501. We brought that up $141,599 from the end of 2016. Sales tax ended with a balance of $790,693, which is $137,832 lower than the end of 2016. But we're still anticipating the grant for the Clink project of $300,000 from KDOT, so that we should be 160 to the plus compared to the end of 2016 once that is complete.
So some KDOT projects, we only pay our portion and they pay the rest. This is one of those where we complete the entire portion and pay it all. And once it's complete, they reimburse us. And we're not quite through because we haven't done the walkthrough yet.
Right. Also included is project records for 2017, showing the projects that were completed and those that are ongoing. We're mostly complete. Like I said, the Clink's still ongoing, and we still got a few things on the apron that need to be taken that they haven't billed us for. But other than that, let me look at it.
I just want to say something about the sales tax fund. Since there's 5 new people, so I'm just trying to make sure you guys understand the sales tax fund is where most of our project funding comes from, and that's what we've been using, so we haven't had to issue debt for our projects in the last 3 or 4 years. And again, that's another balance. We know historically we've carried $1 million in that account, about up and down, but we don't have to. A lot of cities put their entire sales tax monies into their general fund and then pay their projects out of the general fund. Or some cities put half of it in, and that's really we decide how much needs to, we do about a third, right? 300 some thousand goes into the general fund, and the rest of it we use for projects. But that's kind of what and again, this is just the 1% sales tax. It's not the 0.6% sales tax. This is just the one. So those are just kind of things we have to keep in mind. Like we can draw this down to 0 if we want, and other cities do that. It's just whatever we're comfortable with or what we're shoring up money to do. So that's our infrastructure. Sorry.
And then the last page is the start of the project cost records for 2018, and it's just a look ahead of what some of the major projects we're going to be doing in 2018. And that is a living document. It will change over time.
And the only thing I want, if you could on there 2018, if you would list everything at 2017 that has some impact on 2018. So going forward, when you do the 2018, if you're going to have to show like the CIPP because that's coming out of 2018 monies.
Wait, what?
See these 4 that aren't.
We've already paid the CIPP.
It says waiting on bill.
But the cost is paid up.
I know.
I haven't updated
the cash.
I haven't updated the notes. We paid that last year, didn't we?
Yeah. You paid that last year?
I didn't update the note. That's my mistake.
So that was December. Okay. Yeah. So then the Clink project you would list at the top, even though it was a 2017 project, because some monies will come out of 2018. Same way with the TA project, and I guess
we've already paid the TA project. We paid the monies.
But it's still an ongoing project. It's not completed. So anything that is either working or has monies tied to it, we would want that carried forward with this one.
Okay.
You know, when I first started on city council, they didn't have this for us. Remember? Yeah. And we'd start talking about projects, and I'd get one project confused with the other because we didn't have an overall master project list. So this is a crucial document for us understanding what is going on an overall standpoint. So thank you for preparing this for us. And anything else?
Nope. Hold on. one thing I did not put on my report, KDHE has a requirement for having places to test our water. And there's specific amounts per section of town and per population and all that. We have, if I'm right, 3 sections of town, and they require 5 per section for us to go testing. We are running out of places to test our water. People are getting softeners, which is not, we can't test water on when people have water softeners in their homes. It throws the tests off. So we are looking at installing testing stations to meet the requirements of KDHE. So it would be something that would be outside. It'd look somewhat similar to those AT&T poles, the small
green boxes?
The little boxes, yes. We'd install those outside so that we could test. And
You aren't worried about freezing or anything?
No, they make testing stations just for this. It'd be like having a hydrant in the park. Those don't freeze up.
So you're saying the city doesn't own property in each of those quadrants?
No,
locations?
no, we don't, and not enough to test off of. So they do test here, yeah, and they do test wherever else we have water, but we don't have that many tests.
Are you just putting these testing where it's needed that we don't have? Are you gonna?
Yeah, basically, because the testing right now, it's we have to go in people's houses and test, or commandeer wherever the water comes out of from these people's houses to test the water. So what we're devising is putting it where we can access it without bothering people.
Well, wouldn't we do it? I'm trying to figure this out. Wouldn't we do it like here and at the water plant? And
We'll still test here. But we're just doing the places.
So you said there's 5 locations
in each section.
5
of town.
So 15 total.
15 total. Yeah.
15 total? I thought those addresses that I saw that you tested water was 5.
It is.
Now it's 15 places?
Yes, 15 places.
Every
5 every section.
5 every section, yes.
And we take 3 tests a month. So we have to have our town divided into 3 sections.
So we're to meet these requirements, we're going to put these testing stations in so we can have undivided, we know it's proper water coming out of them. And it's going to cost, we found a supplier, municipal supplier, okay, that has these stands, or these stations that we can access, and they'll even put City of Marysville on the side of them, so just like every other utility has a marking.
You think people be okay if we put these in their yards?
It'd be in the easements.
I know, but I guess I'd rather have it run my faucet.
Boston shows you the map that where we kind of went around and looked where to put them. We made them kind of.
Not in the middle of somebody's yard?
Right.
Okay.
By close to a fire hydrant maybe, or by a pole that, so it won't get hit by anything else. So if it hits something, hits the pole.
So basically why I'm talking about this, I wanted everybody to know that we were going to start purchasing equipment to meet requirements. This is something that's required by the state, and we want to meet those requirements. And just so you know, when it comes across that it's a testing station.
What kind of cost are we talking about?
$1,000 per site.
Okay, $15,000?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's not all, yes, each thing, and in fact, if we order, we save $500, right? $400.
Say that again.
$400 for the marking on 5. So if we order the stations, what did we say, 15 or 20? 20. Because what was the reason for 20?
Just to save $500.
say if I.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Menards.
Charge us every time.
We'll look at both.
Save more money.
At least
Spend
15.
5,000 to save 500.
Radio
That's not.
Wow.
Okay, but we'll start ordering these stations to meet the requirements.
What's
Will
involved
our
with
crews put them
installation?
in, or
Yeah.
will it be another?
Our crews will put them in.
Okay, I didn't know if we were a subcontractor.
These are metal, or they? what-
They're metal.
They're
yes.
metal?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, and they'll be in case you won't see the spigot. It's got a door on it.
Can we put a little city of black squirrels? And say,
I think we're gonna do the.
Did you hear what he just said? Shape it like a black squirrel.
You push the tail and bark.
But we'll put the City of Marysville insignia on them. That logo that we have.
Okay, that'll help.
Yes. So just if you see that, that's what that is.
Okay.
And that's all I got.
Okay. Debbie?
The only thing I wanted to mention is we plan to do council orientation hopefully the week of the 22nd or 29th. Austin and I are working to get information ready for everybody, and you'll
So
start
what will that
planning
entail?
tours.
Do they know?
Tours, right?
Have you told them what that entails when you say
Well, I
council
think
orientation?
We'll get the code book and different lists and things like that.
It'll be
Tours.
paperwork. It'll be paperwork, and then we'll have information on each department, code book, possibly ULDCs, because
Unified Land Development.
everybody
Codes.
wants to read those.
Yes.
It's really enjoyable, and then we'll take whoever wants to come. Everybody's welcome up here to go around each department, and each department head will explain what their department does, and have a handout for each for what their department does, and then we'll show, for instance, in the water sewer department, we'll take you to the lagoons, we'll take you to each of the water wells, just to shortly drive by those, and then take you to the.
You have 4 at a time? You take 4 at a time?
Good. Yeah. I mean that's. Yeah.
You don't want. We might as well talk a little bit about COMA, as long as we're here.
Yeah.
So Kansas Open Meetings Act is the biggest thing that you guys need to be aware of newly on council, and
Do you have these to give to them?
that's probably part of their materials they're going to give out.
That's part of it?
But
They're
you know,
handy. Good.
since you've just been sworn in, from henceforward, whenever 5 of you are together in a social event, you can't talk city business at all. It's best not to talk at all together, because maybe about cake or something, but because you can in fact have a meeting at any location if you have a quorum, and quorum in our government consists of 5 city council members. I don't count, but if there's 5 of you together at an event, you just need to stay apart and not talk about city business.
And the other
It's
thing
very,
they said
it's
was,
very serious, because
Oh, I know it is, I know.
because when we go to coffee, there'll be 3 of us, and me being the third, and they'll say, "Is this a Kansas Open Meetings Act violation?" I'm like, "There's 2, and the mayor." So you need, and the other thing you need to keep in mind, the same is true with emails. You can't email to the entire group, and because when that constitutes a meeting. So
And we can go over all the rules.
I know, but they need to know from the get-go, from their, I think it's important right now for you guys to know what you can and can't do. You can't talk business, 5 of you together. You can't do emails to the entire group.
Or telephone.
Or you can tell.
Or any other communication.
or yeah, you can't chain communicate either.
Yeah, so you can't say, well, I asked Darlene and she said yes, and Darlene said yes, what do you think? Okay, Gina said yes, and you're in essence taking a vote, causing a meeting, and that's a chain meeting that you're referring to. So you just need to understand that we, as a governing body, are under the Kansas Open Meetings Act, and we all need to take it very seriously.
And this also goes for committees and appointed committees of the city also.
True. So when we call a sewer meeting, for instance, you can't call a committee meeting. Only Debbie can call it. so because she has to communicate to whoever has requested information that the meeting is going to be held and be open, available to the public. So don't call your own committee meetings, everything has to go through Debbie. Did I basically cover it? Craig, you think?
That's
enough to get them started?
That's a good start. I would, I guess, just generally admonish both new and continuing council members, if you have a legal question, it's an open door or open email or open phone call to me. As a city attorney, I represent the municipal corporation of Marysville, but in your capacity as a council member, you're a member of the governing body of that corporation. So with some exceptions, I can try to answer your questions. And certainly if it's about Open Meetings Act, I can and will try to answer that question. And I would ask that you come to me first if you think you might be approaching some sort of a violation. But you need to know, of course, that I'm not your individual attorney, but if you have a question about the law as it relates to the governing body, that is part of my job. So don't hesitate to contact me. Debbie, Mayor, and Austin, have my contact information. I would echo what the mayor said. That starts immediately. You're taking your oath. You're members of the governing body. This day and age, it's easier to violate the Open Meetings Act, and it can apply to not only the city of Marysville, a violation, but also individual council members as well. So it's of the utmost importance that you know that act and you comply with it the best that you can. So I guess that's.
I know when I started on council, that information was not communicated to me, and I wish it had been at the very first meeting that I sat at. So that's why I'm trying to share it with you guys. Okay, did you get to finish yours?
That's great, thank you.
And about the council orientation. So I say that, so you're going to take 4 members at the most 4 members at a time? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. The next item on our agenda is a standing committee reports. This is a little misleading because you would think that it would be a committee report, but it's really our discussion of the various departments. Historically, that's what it's been, just to bring information out. So does anybody have any comment about street?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
They put all those nice concrete sections in around the manholes. Are they gonna readjust, redo some of the manholes that are in them? Because you still get the thump and the drop in them. They put new lids on them.
I think the asphalt is kind of up to them in some places. They poured the concrete proud
I'm
of
not
it.
sure what the checklist that Hall Brothers has for T-Mans, so I don't know.
Okay.
So
Because
you're
you
gonna
go
check
over, you
it?
feel you
Plus,
drop down into the manhole.
Maybe it's just me, but some of their seams too, it doesn't seem like they overlapped. It's like they tried to butt. And I'm a little concerned that the salt and the moisture is
Water's
going to
gonna
get
get down
in
in 'em.
between and it's going to start popping where they met because they didn't feather it like you usually see on a highway project. It's like they butted them together, which seems odd.
So with that being said, are you saying it's something we need to do, or is it something
what I'm
that we need
asking.
to bring to their attention?
That's what I'm asking. Is it on us to finish leveling them up, or is it on the contractor?
I would think it was on the
Because to
contract.
me, those are not level. They're not near as smooth as what they should be. Some of them are pretty nice, but then you got some of them that are,
People already learning and swerving.
yeah, you can tell
Yeah, just what we need to have people doing again.
yeah, for redoing the highway and leveling them up, I thought they didn't do a very good job.
Okay, well, you can bring it, do it on the walkthrough. Or before the walkthrough, right? All right, anything else on street? Water, sewer? We had all those water breaks, huh?
Not as bad as Topeka had, though.
We didn't have any serious ones that flooded
Well,
anything? Everybody's a serious. right?
Everybody's
Okay.
serious.
All right, water, parks, water, wastewater, Parks Rec, cemetery and airport, police, fire, admin, finance. You can tell we're all new. Okay, appointments and wage determinations. I will try to get all the other boards figured out. Just on a overall comment though, I was talking to my son about reviews, and when you're going to start doing the reviews, the merit reviews of everybody, and he was talking about how they really their goals have both soft skills and hard skills, and measurable goals. And so on your review, do we have soft skills like how you interrelate with your staff and how you interrelate with the public and all that? Do we have soft skills in our goals?
Did you make
Collaboration?
For me personally?
No, for your departments. I mean, when you're
Evaluations.
yeah, for the evaluations, do you have some soft skill?
The goals are set by, and I require that they at least or most of them be measurable goals.
Good.
And if there are soft skills that need to be worked on, yes, that's also a goal. It's a per person basis.
I know. I thought it was an easy way to describe them as soft skills. You know, how you went.
This is what the goals look like. Goals. Line, goals. That's
Right.
what it is.
But I just wanted the type of goals that some of them are soft skill versus knowledge, hard skills.
It's
Do you want to see a
determined.
copy of the evaluation?
It's determined on
It says okay.
per person basis.
I figured the goals should be, but I just wanted to make sure that that's kind of. I just looked at his goals and I was like, that's pretty cool. It's kind of broken out and.
They're not broken out like that, but it's because it's just box goals. What are your goals? What are the goals going forward? Strengths, weaknesses, and so on and so forth.
The reason I bring that up is staff evaluations we're going to start doing this year is when they're going to be the first year. They set them up last year, and this is the first year they're actually going to be evaluated on their goals, and raises are going to be determined. Merit raises will be determined on the goals. Okay, that's all I had to say.
Not determined on the goals, determined on the evaluation.
Yes, or achievement of goals.
No, evaluation. Goals are
Part of the evaluation.
Part of the evaluation.
Okay. Okay. That's okay. City Attorney, did you have anything?
Nope.
Okay, I don't know of any executive session. And again, don't forget the reception for Brad. And the only other thing I have to say is we had a winner in the If I Were Mayor contest. Our 7th graders who wrote essays. Ariana Miller, she's a 7th grader at Marysville Junior High in Mrs. Ring's class, and she was representing the Northeast Regional Area winner of the state. So it's so exciting because she's going to get to go to the Capitol building and get recognized by the mayors and all the elected officials on the governing day, the day we're going to be there. Is it the 17th? 24th. So if anybody else wants to go, we have a winner in this contest. So it's kind of cool because it means that, okay, so they're learning a little bit about local government and hopefully want to be mayor someday. So that was exciting, and I'm glad. I know Darlene said she's going to go and Diane said she wants to go, but if anybody else wants to go, we'll get you registered and everything. So that was exciting news. We have a winner in Marysville. And the other good thing about that is we only started doing this last year. That was the first year we participated in it. So that's pretty good. We're now really high bar now. High bar. So with that being said, this is round table. We just kind of go around. You share whatever thoughts or whatever we haven't covered yet. So we'll start with Darlene. I always start on this side. Darlene?
Well, I would like to welcome all the new council members and look forward to working with all of you.
Be patient. We'll get there. I have a little thing to say. I'm cutting their hair and I'm in the barber shop, they've been giving me pushes ideas.
Advice already?
Advice!
I love that.
It's good. And one gentleman dropped 3 pages in on my lap. And then
I hope it was handwritten rather than typed.
No.
Was it typed?
It was lovely. Anyway, and I write these down on little scraps of paper, so I figure over the 4 years, we'll get something done.
You'll have a book.
Hey, yeah.
Keep
so-
a journal.
Oh, no. No, that's okay. But yeah, I just want you guys to know that I will mark off, because I know that some of the stuff is done. I just need explanations for my people.
Oh,
That's what I want.
questions are good, and the more, so we have 5 new council members. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I can't imagine having more than 5, because the most you can turn is 4. So, and we learn every meeting. So
they're
together.
Yeah.
Could you tell that bond from our council that was leaving? It's hard to say goodbye.
That was nice. That was very nice. So yeah, that's what I'm going to try to. One of the things I'm going to try to achieve is answer their questions as they keep throwing them at me.
Well, Austin loves questions, and Debbie loves questions.
Yeah.
I love questions too, but I'm not as available as they are. So, all right. Thank you for being willing to serve.
Sure. Thank you.
Gina.
Thank you. She said that. Thanks.
Thank you for being willing to serve.
Yeah.
Thank you, maybe.
She didn't get up and leave, so.
Terry.
Hope I feel this good in 4 years.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your service. Todd.
Well, I wanted to carry on Vicky's great things are happening spiel, but she's not here.
She left.
So I'll dispense with that. You can tell her I did it. No, I just, because, the only thing I wanted to put out there was I know it's been kind of a tough time lately for retail in Marysville. We've had some higher than normal vacancy rate downtown. We have some more businesses closing, and some for, okay reasons because people are going on to do other things, and some for difficult reasons. But I just want to encourage us as a city and as individuals in the community to really support what we can for local businesses.
Absolutely.
That's what makes a community, I think. So, do what you can to encourage that strong business, that strong tax base too. So we can all kind of feed off each other that way in a good way.
And those sales tax dollars reduce our property taxes here in Marysville significantly. And we do our project with sales tax, so do shop local.
And don't despair. There's a lot of places that don't have it still as good as we have it, but that doesn't mean we can't work hard to keep improving it.
Yeah. Diane.
Well, I had somebody that said that the metal sidewalk cover up by Farm Bureau needs to be fixed when it's all deteriorated. So.
On the sidewalk?
Yeah, one of those strips on the sidewalk is all. Anyway, so they asked me, that people are already telling me everything that needs to be done, so. And I look forward to working with everybody. I think hopefully I can do as good a job as the past bunch has done, so.
As my past representative, your husband.
Yeah. Okay.
Big shoes to fill, Diane.
Yes, I know.
Thank you for your service.
All right.
Okay, Kevin.
Just want to thank everybody coming aboard. Hope you enjoy it.
Hope it's a joyful experience.
Yeah, it's really enjoyable, so.
Yeah. And Jason.
I don't really have a lot to say. I'm just going to try and kind of soak it in.
A lot to digest, isn't it?
People that know, I'm not real talkative at first.
Well, Gina
If
should
you know
be that.
me, then you can't usually shut
So when I'm talking to Gina about this position, she asked me a question, I ramble away.
Yeah.
And finally I look at her and I said, okay, you haven't talked very much. She goes, just wait till I know more. So I think you're going to be like her. We're going to hear from you a lot more. So thank you for your service as well. So with that being said, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.
If you just put last names on these, you could have saved